Her text came at 8:42 a.m., just after I'd poured my second cup of coffee. I want a divorce. All communication through my lawyer. No explanation. No punctuation mistake. She'd proofread it, like always. I stared at it long enough for the screen to dim. Then I typed one word, understood, and pressed send. The silence that followed wasn't heavy. It was sterile, like a hospital corridor after the last monitor flatlines. I set the mug down, opened my laptop, and began to cancel, one thing at a time. Her credit cards, the joint account, the vacation bookings, the car lease under my name, every thread she had tied to my life, quietly severed. By noon, her world was smaller. By evening, it stopped moving. At 9:03 the next morning, my phone began to vibrate. Unknown number. I didn't answer. It rang again, and again. Then a voicemail. Her lawyer. His voice trembling, formal panic barely disguised. "Mr. Hale, I think there's been a misunderstanding. Could we please talk?" I smiled into the quiet. No misunderstanding, just timing. The signs had started months before. Not dramatic ones, little cracks disguised as coincidences. The sudden secrecy with her phone, the soft smile when she thought I wasn't watching, the perfume she never wore around me anymore. I used to tell myself she was tired. That marriage fades like old wallpaper, color draining one sigh at a time. But then came the receipts, hidden under the car seat. Dinner for two at a place she said she'd never been. I stared at the date, the night she claimed she was at her sister's. I'd said nothing, not because I believed her, but because silence makes people louder than words ever can. She began avoiding my eyes, started using her headphones during breakfast. Her laughter, once shared across the table, now came from behind glass. That's when I understood. She wasn't planning to confess. She was planning an exit. But she didn't realize I'd already started drawing my own map. I began small. Patterns, schedules, digital footprints. When she said she was at yoga, I tracked her phone's location. When she claimed she was exhausted, I checked her ride history. Truth leaves fingerprints. You just need patience to read them. I spoke less, listened more. Let her fill the silence with small lies and rehearsed affection. Her words grew lighter. Mine grew colder. Then one night, while she showered, I opened her laptop. A synced message appeared, a conversation she'd forgotten to delete. "He's so predictable. I just need the papers filed first." Her text. To him, the man she'd introduced as her business mentor. I scrolled further. A hotel confirmation. Photos. She hadn't just replaced me. She'd been preparing the trade like a negotiation, using my money to build her escape. So I waited. I didn't confront her, didn't break things, didn't scream. I let her believe I was still asleep inside the marriage, still the man who'd sign whatever she placed before me. She filed for divorce on a Monday. I received the message Tuesday morning. She thought she'd taken control. She hadn't realized control was the first thing I sold her and the last thing I'd take back. When her lawyer finally reached me, he spoke in long sentences, the kind people use when they're afraid of being blamed. "Mr. Hale, your wife didn't anticipate any abrupt financial restrictions. She's stranded, actually. We'd like to resolve this amicably." I said nothing. He cleared his throat. "Perhaps we can schedule a meeting." I agreed. That evening she arrived. Not the composed woman who once corrected my grammar mid-argument. This version looked unedited, hair unkempt, eyes swollen, pride trembling. She didn't greet me, just hissed, "You had no right." I poured her a glass of water, set it down between us. "You wanted communication through your lawyer," I said softly. "I followed your instructions." Her voice cracked. I didn't mean." Intent doesn't change consequence. I slid the printed conversation across the table. Her messages, her plans, her lover's name. She froze, then whispered, You read my private messages? I met her eyes, calm, empty. You wrote them on my laptop. The glass shook in her hand. The mask collapsed. Tears came, but they felt rehearsed, like a performance no longer needed once the audience had left. Stood, collected the papers, and handed them to her lawyer. All assets remain frozen until settlement. I'll cooperate through legal channels as requested. He nodded quickly, eyes darting between us like a referee praying for silence. She whispered, "Please, can we talk alone?" I paused. About what? Us. I made a mistake. I almost laughed. Mistake, the word people use when they run out of excuses. I leaned in slightly. You didn't make a mistake. You made a decision. I'm just giving it consequences. She reached out, but I stepped back. The lawyer began to collect his things, pretending not to hear the sound of her breathing breaking apart. I opened the door for them both. "Good night," I said. The way you might to a stranger after sharing an elevator ride. Her eyes pleaded for something, for anger, for a fight, for proof that she still mattered. I gave her nothing, because nothing, I've learned, hurts more than indifference. That night, I sat by the window with the same cup of coffee that had started it all. Same hour, different world. My phone vibrated again. Voicemail. Her voice. Broken this time. "Please, I can't access anything. I need help. Just call me." I didn't. Instead, I muted the phone, watched the city lights shimmer against the glass. The truth is, I didn't feel triumphant. Just still. Like I'd finally stepped out of a burning house and realized how long I'd been inhaling smoke. There's a peace that comes after the final betrayal. It's not joy. It's not sorrow. It's the absence of both. I took one last sip, set the cup down, and whispered to the empty room, "Understood."